Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you have not already, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you're listening today. It helps the channel out so much. Today is Monday, October 16th, and because it's a Monday, y'all know what that means. It's time for What's Sold on eBay. Just like every week, I have pulled out highlights from the week. Sometimes my highlights are just tried and true bread and butters, and sometimes they're be on the lookout for brands, and often it's a mix of both. I also always show you every single plush that sells, so I pick out the highlights of the week. Don't show you every single sale, except when it comes to plush, because they are my favorite, and they're slower and more long tail. So we don't sell as many plushes or other items each week, which is okay because that's how plush goes. If you're new to the plush game, you need to know that. That's something I wanted to briefly touch upon real quick before we jump in here with this teddy bear. Plush is extremely long tail. So if you've had a plush sitting around for a couple of months, that's normal. I hear all the time from new resellers or new to plush resellers, oh, my plush has been sitting forever. What am I doing wrong? Nothing at all, with the very rare exception of certain brands, like if you can find one from World of Warcraft convention or something sought after Halloween special Squishmallow. With very rare exceptions, plushies are just going to set. You might list it at the right time, in the right place, and the right buyer sees it. But for the most part, they're going to sit for a very long time. You are waiting for the exact right buyer to come along. And usually that's one of two types of buyers. It's either a parent looking to replace a plush their child lost, or an adult looking for something and willing to pay the money for it. There's lots of other kinds of plush sellers, but those are the main two. In fact, I'm going to show you a really nice positive review we got from a buyer pertaining to finding something from their lost childhood. But yes, so if your plush has been sitting around for 6 months or a year, guess what? That's normal, especially if it's a run-of-the-mill, everyday, oversaturated bread and butter plush. It on a different life cycle. I feel like a plush that sits for a year is the equivalent to an item, a clothing item that sits for like 6 months. And you're not going to want to hear this either, but nowadays, 6 months is pretty normal for most clothing as well. Again, there's luxury brands and bolo brands that are going to sell more quickly. But Keith and I do the research every year on our guides. We figure out the sell-through rate on hundreds of brands, used and new, jeans, shirts, plush. And on average, clothing takes 6 months to sell. So that's normal, and plush is going to be even longer. I just really wanted to touch upon that today, if you have never heard me talk about that before, because it is super important, because I keep seeing over and over again people saying, oh, my, not even just plush, my jeans have been sitting for 2 months. What am I doing wrong? You're expecting it to sell too fast. That's what you're doing wrong. Now, there are items that will sell more quickly, like I've said, but the majority of items aren't. On our plush guide that we research every year, there's very few brands that sell faster than 3 months. If you're in the vintage game or the luxury brand game, it's a whole different world. But I'm pretty sure that most of you watching this channel are either new to reselling and found me because it's a teaching channel, or you're watching because you have a similar business model to us, which is plush or bread and butter items. So it's always important to keep that in mind. We're going to jump in here and go through the what sold, and then at the end, I'm going to show you this feedback we got, because sometimes those can really make your day, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, this is why we do what we do all day, every day. We're going to jump in with this Kohl's Cares corduroy teddy bear. You guys, Kohl's Cares is solid bread and butter. They make a lot of plushies of characters from children's literature books. Some are going to sell for a lot of money. Some are going to sell quicker than others. You can do your research. You can comp it at the time of finding it. If your cost is right or you're buying in wholesale, I say you're never wrong with Kohl's Cares. This one sold for $7.91 plus $5.99 shipping. Excuse me, I dropped my notes. All right. So he's cute. He didn't take that long to sell either. He was only a couple months. So again, there's always going to be exceptions to every rule. This is an Oriental Trading Company black cat. He probably sold right now because of the time of year. $8.01 plus shipping. If you're wondering about the weird cents on the end here, when we switched to calculated shipping from free shipping, we did like a bulk edit and some of our prices came out wonky and we said just leave it. They'll sell, or 3-6 months from now we'll do a delist, relist, and fix it and like round it off, but it's fine. It doesn't seem to be deterring the buyers. This is a sloth, Destination Nation. Never really heard of the brand, but I do pretty well with sloths in general. They seem to be one of those popular animals, but there's not that many of them listed. So that's kind of a sweet spot. $10.01 plus shipping. And then this vintage, the brand is Teleflora. It's a Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter, which is another children's literature book. And this is a little tiny plushie on top of a wooden wagon platform pole toy. I don't think this is the original string it came with, which is why, I made note to show that. And I did take a best offer of $15 plus shipping. He was under a pound, but we did still wrap him in like one wrap of bubble wrap into a smaller box to ship him just because of the wheels and what it is. Most plushies I just stuff into a poly bag, but if it's an electronic plush or has something special about it, I'll use a box. And the larger ones, I get that question a lot too. How do I ship my jumbo plush? I put them in a box. You can get them for free on USPS.com. They're the 12 by 12 by, I say 9 inches. It's 8 something, but I round up. But they're free boxes that you can use, and they are under the dimensions where they start charging astronomical prices, and plush are squishy, so squish them on in. All right, we're going to get into some of the clothing items that I picked out to show you. Most of these this week are going to be brands that I like, that I feel are tried and true, are good bread and butters, but don't pay a lot for them. Gap, American Eagle, Old Navy, you hear me say week after week. Those are my holy trinity brands of bread and butter. Don't pay more than like $2 for them. If you find them on sale, get them in a thread-up box. I do really well with all three brands. Any size, any style, there's sellers out there that'll tell you they only pick up certain styles or sizes based on their own data of how they sell. I've never had an issue moving any of them. I even sell like size 4 and 6 and 8, which is really hard to move on other brands. These are sexy boyfriend jeans, size 30. These are cute. I like the little back pockets. And these sold for a best offer of $9 plus the $10 shipping. Aeropostal jegging jeans. Took a best offer of $7, and then we had $7 shipping on them. So they sold for $14 all in. And I believe our shipping label was only like $5 or $6. You're not going to make a lot of money on Aeropostal, but they do sell fast. On paper, they have a low sell-through rate, and so does Hollister for that matter. But for some reason, Aeropostal and Hollister sell really fast for me. Most of the jeans of that brand are going to be smaller sizes and shipped first class. So I like them when I find them for 99 cents. I'm not mad about it when they come in a thread up. I think you've seen the scrub top. I want to say even last week or the week before, a couple weeks in a row. We had 5 of these. So I've already talked about these extensively, but I do like scrub tops. I go to the scrub rack at the Salvation Army or the Goodwill on 99-cent day. And anything that is a cute print, I do pick up for 99 cents, and I don't really care about the brand. If it's cute enough, if it's like puppies for veterinarian or whatever, if it's got toothpaste on it and toothbrushes for like a dental tech, you know what I mean? If the print's cute, if it's obviously holiday themed and it's only 99 cents, I grab it. There's certain brands I also look for, and some of those are like Koi, Peaches, Mary Meyer, Wonder Wink. There's several others that are really good. And Plus Size and Disney and things like that. So I just grab whatever's 99 cents. Some of the plus size Disneys I'll pay like up to $2 for if they're half off or whatever. But these ones are like a generic kind of poopy brand, but they're size 5X. So they're plus size, and there was a whole slew of them. I think we started out with like 7 or 8 of these. So I bought all of them that were there, made one listing, and we sell one every once in a while. So I like to do things like that. Like if I find, even in like the men's shirts or the jeans or the shorts or whatever, if you find like a whole slew of stuff that's exactly the same on sale at your thrift, buy them all, because you can make one listing. The first 1 or 2 sell, you make your money back, and then you're just making icing on the cake after that. This sold for $8.45 on a best offer, plus the $7 shipping. Miss Me jeans. So there was a time when I would start Miss Me's at $50. Now this was back when I did free shipping. So that would be equivalent to current day 40 plus 10 shipping. Unfortunately, people do lower their prices and race to the bottom. Don't do that. It can ruin an entire market. I could actually probably, and maybe I should, make an entire video of all of the brands that just in the time I've been reselling have gone down in value because everyone is racing to the bottom. I have to mention it once in every video, you know that. So now I start Miss Me's at 30 plus 10 shipping, or 40 if you do free ship. And then I usually take a best offer. So on these, I took $24 best offer plus the $10 shipping. These sell pretty quickly still. Most Miss Me's will move. I feel like they move more quickly than they should, like based on paper with research that we do. But it probably also depends on the size. And again, you can list things at the right time. Something could have a very low sell-through rate, and you just happen to list these when Sally in California is like, you know what? I love Miss Me Easy Straight Jeans, and mine are getting old and worn out. Maybe I should go see if I can find some on eBay. 31 is her size, and she just happens upon it right when you list it. So I don't really just, if stuff sells for me, whatever the paper says, that I sell anything, but our cost of goods is very low. So keep that in mind when you're watching my videos. If you guys can get things for $2 or less, which most of you do have the bins available to you and sales in your area, everyone has access to ThreadUp and other places, Goodwill Blue Box online, where you can get things relatively cheap. I'm not discerning if it's under $2, especially, and I talked really extensively about this in last week's What Sold video. With the economy the way it is, people are going to be looking for more affordable used clothing than ever before. Here's another brand a lot of people don't like, and I love. I love Guess. I don't find them that often, but when I do, they move quickly. These are the high-waist skinny size 27 Tayana fit. I'm probably saying that wrong. I took a best offer on these of $10.23 plus 7 shipping. So they were first class. I do like Guess. And this is a women's Hollister shirt. 99 cents cost of goods. I thought it was cute. It's a size small. Obviously, larger sizes are always going to do better for you. But for 99 cents, I decided to try it. And it sold for $6.58 plus $5.50 shipping. So that's a good bread and butter price right there. This is a brand everyone should be looking for. It's a high-end bread and butter brand. This pair sold for $17.49 plus 10 shipping. So that's $27.49 all in, roughly. We'll say, rounding up. But these can sell for like 25 to 30 all in. They're high-end bread and butter. They move pretty quickly. They do have a loyal customer base. I do like cabbie. I can tell you I don't find them that often in the wild. Actually, I don't know if I've ever found cabbie in the wild, maybe back in Florida, but the majority of the cabbies I get are from thread-up boxes. And then last but not least, just wanted to show you a remote that's worth picking up. We buy our remotes wholesale, if you guys didn't know. We have deals with folks that ship them to us in huge lots at like 25 cents a pound. So we're paying pennies per remote. And if it's a $3 remote to an $80 remote, we're probably going to list it and sell it and pinch every penny of profit we can out of our purchases. But that's because we're buying so much in bulk and we're paying so little. The majority of you probably are getting remotes from Goodwill, church sales, yard sales, garage sales. So you need to be a little more discerning when you're choosing these because you're probably paying 25 cents to $1 per remote. So I do like to show you guys the remotes that are going to sell for a little bit more. This one sold for $20 all in with shipping and everything. So this is a Sony remote control, and that's the model number. But yeah, don't ever be afraid to go through the remotes at a sale and just comp them. You can comp remotes pretty quickly by just putting the model number in. I'll show you real quick. So, I mean, you can sit with a pile of remotes at the back of the Goodwill in a corner by yourself and just type in the model numbers and look them up and see the comps on them. I would just tell you to be aware that there are knockoffs and generics that come from China for very, very cheap, and they are not authentic. So you do want to look for remotes that are genuine. And you're going to be able to tell because these are all within the $20 range, right? So these are genuine. Most people will write genuine in their title. But there are knockoffs out there, so just be careful when you're comping that you're not looking at those prices. But yeah, you just type in the model number and you can look them up real quick, real fast. You can go through a whole pile of them. Like I said, back in the corner of the store. But if you're like at a garage sale and they have, or church sale, and they have a bin or a box of remotes, just kind of count how many are in there and offer them like a quarter a piece if you buy them all or 50 cents, It never hurts to ask. So we're going to look at this feedback real quick before I let you go. Okay, this is going to sound kind of silly, but I had this same exact dandy moose since I was a baby. It was a gift from my parents, and he had been with me for 24 years. He had gotten lost, and I have been looking for a replacement ever since. When I saw your ad, I cried. The moose is perfect. Thank you so much. A++, great seller. And then some hearts. So I love when I get feedback like this. It does make what we do worthwhile. There are still nice people in this world. There's really great buyers out there, guys. There's still a lot of positive experiences to be had in reselling. And I love messages like this. And as a plush seller and probably vintage sellers too, you're going to get a lot of feedback and or messages from folks after they purchase stuff from you that they bought for the nostalgia. They bought to reminisce. Vintage sellers, plush sellers, I really think we're in the business of selling memories, like selling nostalgia. And I just love when I get feedback like this. All right, guys, go be productive. Go make some money. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about reselling in general, or anything you saw in this video, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.